Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'm Kendall, and I'm personally inviting you to the 2026 Wellness Center Creators Retreat, a 4-day immersion into restoration, strategy, and next-level growth happening September 22nd through 25th in beautiful Vancouver, Washington. Here's the real magic. You won't just learn, you'll experience. Transformational tools alongside other wellness leaders who get it. Community, clarity, and collaboration all in one place. Pick a track that meets you where you are, whether you're just blooming or ready to grow big and bold, and walk away with actionable systems, strategic coaching, movement sessions, spa experiences, and a game plan for the year ahead. Payment plans are available, and trust me, this is the kind of investment that pays you back tenfold. Head to wellnesscentercreators.com/retreats for all the details, and let's make 2026 the year you lead with clarity, ease, and exponential impact. You might already be familiar with the name, but if it's new to you, Jane is a HIPAA-compliant clinic management software and EMR, and the sponsor of today's show. Chasing down patients or clients for important information isn't anyone's idea of a good time, especially when there are forms to be filled, payments to be processed, and consents to be collected. That's why Jane has designed user-friendly online intake forms, so you can gather all the information you need ahead of the appointment, whether that's health history, insurance details, or a credit card on file. Jane will even send a friendly reminder 24 hours before a patient's appointment if they haven't completed their intake form yet, saving you from having to manually follow up. To see Jane in action, head to jane.app to book a personalized demo. Or if you're ready to get started, you can use the code WELLNESS1MO at the time of sign-up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. Hi there, and welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'm Kendall Hagenson.
And I'm Anna Rudell. We're thrilled to have you join us on this journey of creating innovative, patient-centered wellness centers.
As experienced health and wellness providers, we've seen firsthand the challenges of delivering comprehensive, holistic care to our patients.
That's why we created this podcast, to share the knowledge, strategies, and insights we've gained from our own experiences and from connecting with experts in the field.
Each episode, we'll dive into a different aspect of building and growing a successful wellness center, from developing a strong multidisciplinary team to implementing cutting-edge technologies and treatment approaches.
We'll also share practical tips, resources, and real-world examples to help you overcome common obstacles and streamline your processes.
Our goal is to empower you with the tools and confidence you need to create a thriving wellness center that truly makes a difference in your patients' lives.
So whether you're just starting out or looking to take your existing practice to the next level, you're in the right place.
Get ready to learn, grow, and be inspired. Let's create something amazing together.
Welcome to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.
Hello, creators. Welcome to our Thriving Wellness Center series. I'm Kendall Hagenson, multidisciplinary clinic owner and founder of Wellness Center Creators. In this free webinar series, you will learn from our expert panel on all categories of your wellness center business. Each facilitator in the series is one of our successful healthcare business owners who will be presenting at our Wellness Center Creators Retreat this September. They'll be giving you important insights and highlights from each of their topics. You'll be hearing from me throughout the retreat in September. I look forward to sharing our keynote with you and spending some time looking at how to create a truly collaborative healthcare business, looking at each layer of your structure, systems, team, and culture, and why a collaborative business model is more sustainable, more profitable, and more fun. Enjoy the Thriving Wellness Center series and reach out to me anytime at kendall@wellnesscentercreators.com. Welcome back, everyone, to our Thriving Wellness Center series. Today we have Josh Satterlee. So Josh, you've seen him on the podcast or heard him on the podcast, and we've done quite a few things together. Josh owns Trust Driven Care, and he's also a Jane ambassador with me and a facilitator, obviously, at our upcoming retreat. So welcome, Josh. Oh, and he's an amazing chiropractor.
Thanks. That's how it all started. So I was wondering if you'd get to that point. Yeah.
There's also that piece of being a clinician. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
So you built Trust Driven Care because you care a ton about the patient experience and building trust. And this is what you're going to be teaching on at the retreat. So we're going to give our audience a little taste today of some of that information. So why is patient experience such a big deal to you? Why is it such a big deal, especially for new practices?
Well, I feel intimidated with you asking me that question because I've always been impressed by your patient experience, like especially at your wellness center in Vancouver there. Because the first time I walked in there, I just felt like, oh, okay, cool. I can get down here. I can relax. It's warm and welcoming and everything. I was especially impressed by your bathroom, which never gets said. Like those words are rarely spoken, but I want you to know that because it doesn't feel like a sterile surgical bay environment like so many healthcare bathrooms do.
Yeah.
And it feels as warm and welcoming as everywhere else. And I think that, you know, when we are trying to build this relationship with our patients to get them to trust us, to get them to believe in us, it's especially important when you're like a new practice because those are the things that'll keep people sticking around. What you don't want to do is have plain walls and a plain experience that leads people to go, well, the place down the street's $5 less, right?
Right.
And as you know, like you can be in that world of commoditization and they go, oh, well, I'll just use this online. I'll just use BetterHelp. They're as easy as anything else, right?
Right.
And why would they resist that? It comes down to how they feel in the experience. And the experience is like with you as a provider, but it's also if you have staff, what's that experience like? What's the experience like of booking? So you and I both love and use Jane because it's so easy and comfortable and trustworthy to book online appointments through that.
Yeah.
And then what little things can you do for your patient that just help you set yourself apart? So I go to this like sushi place all the time. And one thing I just love is, you know how they serve you the little tiny bit of cucumber salad?
Mm-hmm.
As a regular there, they put a little bit of fish on top for me, just like a little bit of chopped up fish and give it to me. And it's like their little way of saying, hey, we care about you and appreciate that you come here often.
Yeah. Yeah.
And those little things they just go so far. You know?
They do. So what are like your go-tos, like your one or two things that would help practices be remembered?
Yeah. So I think when we're young in practice, we have way more time than we have money. And so you got to be careful because you can set a level that you won't be able to reach when you're busy.
That is true.
Yeah. But I think two things that will always be worthwhile. The first one is challenge yourself and then your staff when you get them to, when you get a new patient booked, look on their social media, try and find them, see if you can find a picture. And when they walk in the door, if you can use their name. I know it sounds crazy, but I cannot think of any business known for their service, Disney, Nordstrom, Starbucks, all these places, that doesn't wear name tags and doesn't put your name somewhere. Like on Starbucks, how great does it feel when they put your name on the cup?
Sure.
Side note, their product's not that good. Their service is what's carrying them through, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but they care about you. And the other thing I think that can feel really good that you can do for the rest of your life is when people come in, handing them like one of those tiny little water bottles, you know, like half-size ones, but take the time to get like a label and just write their name on it. If I just write Kendall on it and I say, hey, Kendall, here you go. It's just something simple. Oh, I don't need it. But when they see their name on it, they just think these people care. And it's like that moment of reprieve right before any sort of healthcare appointment, I think just get people to fall in love.
It matters so much. I think about the couple things that we've done over the years that are most successful. One of them that we've done for, I think, the entire time we've been in business is after massage appointments, we send people home with like the rest of their massage lotion or oil. And it has their unique blend of essential oils that they had in the session. And it has our sticker on it and stuff. And it's their own little personal blend. And then they get to use it at home. And I mean, the scent also reminds them of the experience. And coming
I
back.
love that.
So that's
Yeah.
one of our favorites we still do to this day. And then another one we do is welcome folders for new patients. So any modality that they're starting, they get their welcome folder, they get like aftercare recommendations, promotional materials for other services, things like that, business card for their provider, write their name on the folder. It's their folder for their care,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
So
think that the writing of the name and using their name is not talked about how strong of a bond that forms. We know their name. They freaking filled it on the online booking.
yes,
Use it. Write it on their folder, write it on their water bottle, and make sure your staff uses it. And there's nothing worse than being in an appointment. I'm sure you've had this experience as a patient. You're sitting in the room and then somebody walks in and they're like, "Hi, let me take your blood pressure." And you're like, my first question is, "What's your name?" And I have a name. Please use it. Like,
right.
let's just start forming a relationship. It just feels so cold and awkward. And I'm like, this sucks. So I don't want to ever do that for my patients.
Yeah, goes a long way.
It does.
So also at the retreat, you are going to talk about trust building and hiring. Am I getting that correct? Am I getting that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about hiring a bit. Why? Well, obviously it's a big deal. Why is it such a big deal that we're, building trust in these processes?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think if you do the patient experience right and you provide good care and you really, set up that education afterwards and you do all these things, it's going to work. And I think sometimes as a young provider, you don't have that faith, but now like it's going to work. Like you've seen it work in how many hundreds of practices.
Yeah.
The recipe works. And what will happen is you're going to fill up. And one of the scariest points, I think, is when you go from you being the only service provider, meaning you're the only clinician, to going, I need a second clinician, a third clinician, or, man, I'm getting overwhelmed. I need somebody to help at the front desk, right? Or virtual front desk, whatever you want to do now. And so you're going to get to a point that the only logical growth path is hiring. You're going to have to hire people, right? Now, what most people do in that situation, what's that?
Darn it.
Yeah. What most people do in that situation is that they look for somebody to put out the fire immediately, meaning they're going, "Hey, do you know anybody?" and blah, blah. And they're not looking for what got me here. What were the core values we held up, or what is our mission, or what do we really believe in? And looking for people who will jive with that, right? The problem is that if you hire front desk, everybody's going to experience that person before they experience you. So now your brand, your thing you're known for is going to be either magnified by that person or reduced.
Yeah.
And you hope it's magnified. And so I think there's certain ways to look at that and say, this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to guarantee a process to end up with people who magnify our experience, our beliefs, our core values, everything that we have worked for.
Yeah. And there's so many layers to that, like preparing to even look for that person.
Yeah.
Right. There's so much personal work that goes in first to get to that step of even putting out a job posting to find that person, let alone training them in your model to, be able to build trust in the way that you've created in your business.
Because you're entrusting your reputation to this person, right?
Yeah.
If you put somebody at your front desk, Kendall, you have very high standards.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've experienced where they don't have that high standards. And it's like, even if you're the nicest person in the world, even if you don't steal money, you're taking something else and we can't have you here. I'm sorry. You might be a nice person. You might be great down the street, a different clinic, but not here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you talk about like a marketing approach to hiring. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. I think people look at hiring as like, oh, I'm going to do this one thing and then be done. And I would say it's like looking at new patients. Do you want one new patient or are you always looking at new patients? And so somebody in marketing, we commonly know there's somebody right now reading your blog. They're not ready to make an appointment, but they're going to see a couple other things and make an appointment, right? So they're going to see 4, 5, 10, 20 different pieces of you. And at some stage, they're finally going to sign up for an appointment. We should have a process that guides candidates through the same way. And there's going to be a lot of candidates at various spots. And so what I find is when you're hiring at a decent pace, you get overwhelmed by all the different, where is Kendall in the shoot? Did she fill out the intake paperwork or no? Did she give us her tax documents? All right. And now her friend, she also referred somebody, Brittany. Do we have an application? Like, there's just so many people at so many spots for so many positions. You have clinicians, right?
Yeah.
You have multiple services. So you have massage therapist, mental health, clinic director, who's also mental health, but needs to have some leadership skills. And then you have front desk, you have back office.
Yeah.
And so instead, look at it as people going through your marketing process, and it's like a fruit tree. You don't know when that fruit's going to be ready to pick, meaning you don't know when they're going to be ready to hire, but you want to monitor them. There's going to be people at different positions with different abilities already. So we want to set it up like that. And so we monitor it just like we would our marketing. There are people who are early on, and there are people who booked an appointment, and we want to know where they're at in that whole series of stages.
Yeah, I agree with that. We always keep, even before there were better platforms and softwares for hiring, like we would just keep everyone over the years, right? We always keep interested resumes and people who just reach out even when we're not hiring, and always keep a list of those people. And I've definitely hired people that they reached out 2 years ago and it just wasn't the right timing. And then here they are on the team, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's all that, I don't know if you've ever been approached by a staffing company, but they're like, we get 30% of the person's salary for 3 years, because all they're doing is that front end piece. They met people 2 years ago, worked them up, found out what they're into, got their applications, got their certifications. And now they're like, you want them today? What you're not seeing is we've just worked them up for 2 years and we'll hand them to you today.
Yeah.
But it's such a pain in the butt that they're like, yeah, you're going to pay us a whole lot of money to do that. Yeah.
So what's the advantage in the long run, right? Obviously, we can assume what the advantage would be, but you know, what's your coaching around that of creating that systemized process for hiring?
Yeah, I actually wouldn't start at the front end. I would not start with the job posting. I would look at it like this. Like you talked about your folder for patients when they come in, right? Why is that folder important? Is they have to know about you guys, they have to know what services, but really why you believe in those services. And so I would start with the onboarding process first, and then work backward onto how to get people into the onboarding process.
Yes.
And so an easy way to do this is record a video of yourself. Here's the one video I would start with. You're going to record a video that every single person that ever joins your team is going to watch and must know front to back. And it is this: the 10 easiest ways to get fired from, fill in your clinic name. Okay? Just instead of talking about your core values, what I find, Kendall, is people are really emotionally, it's easy to say why you would fire somebody.
Yeah.
Right? So if I ask you, what's the easiest way to get fired from Vancouver Wellness?
Oh, man. The easiest way to get fired from my company is having belligerent behavior towards clients, patients, or staff, right?
Yeah.
Like that would be like the
Blatant disrespect.
Blatant disrespect. Yeah.
And so I think you could have a video, because if I go, why is that so important, Kendall? And tell me a story of when it occurred. When you think to an employee that did that, you go crazy, right?
Sure.
And they're going to see, if I want to see Kendall in this state, this is how I act, right? For me, I had an employee that slept with a patient.
Yep.
But luckily, it was the start of their second week with me. Okay.
Oh my God.
I was like, are you serious? This is insane. And I couldn't believe it. And somebody said, yeah, that happens all the time. I'm like, no way. There's no way there's people with that poor of judgment in this world. And sure enough, I got one.
There are.
I've had people steal from me, and there's like blatant stealing. And then there's the not entering of charges, not accounting for things, or just using too much product or handing the product to the patient. So we used kinesio tape. I had a guy hand a patient 2 rolls of kinesio tape, didn't charge even for the taping. And he's just like, yeah, he has a competition this weekend. I'm like, that costs me money, right? That is stealing in a different sense. So that's on mine. Sleeping with the patient's on my list. And then
just list all the top ethical considerations from any of our licensure boards.
Right. Yeah. The stuff that you read on your licensure announcement and go, there's no way anybody's actually doing that. And you realize,
they are. Yeah.
But to me, even things like if a patient says, can I come in, and you don't book them at that time, that drives me bonkers. Book them. If they want to pay, if they pull out their credit card, accept their payment, because that's their way of committing. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I had somebody say, like, can I pay? And they went to the front desk, can I pay? And one of our trainers was up there and was like, just take care of it next week. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
No.
Those things hurt. They hurt the company. They cost the company money.
That's right.
So in your videos this video that you make, right? Do you also do a top 10 like ways to be most successful, or do you feel like the top 10 ways to get fired is just all they need?
No, I always start with the top 10 ways to get fired because it's easy to see the emotional side of you. And I think it's really important for that new person when they're getting onboarded to know not the rules that we put on the wall that look good, these core values that like big corporations have, but like what really matters to this person who hired me and what are they about? And I think that's what early times employees really connect with is, oh, we're on a mission here. We're doing the thing that you love and I want to respect that. That gets people started. They start flowing with the emotion. And then if you go, all right, here's how to be successful, it's way easier. The ice is already broken. You've already screamed and yelled, pounded the table. And you're like, all right, well, here's how to be successful. But what you don't want to have is a video that, how to be successful at Vancouver. Just do your job and smile. It's like, come on, that's not enough.
Yeah. Well, I think with any of this, right, it's in the details. It's in the intention of it and the details of it. And it's how we build trust with patients, how we build trust with our team.
That's right. Yeah. And I think the second video I'd probably shoot would be, what's your origin story? Like, really, why'd you start? You could have worked for, you're a mental health provider. You could have worked for 1,000 different hospitals or large groups.
Sure.
Why'd you decide to go on your own? And people want to hear that story of why they're, fighting with you next to you on the battlefield. And, and I think,
stories
so I'd have like 3 videos and then start hiring people. Just make sure everybody who hits that point, you watch these videos before you ever touch a patient. In our world, it's touch a patient, but in yours, you sit with a patient or diagnose a patient.
Right.
This is more important than what we do here.
Yeah. I think those are great tips. I'm going to have to make the 10 ways to get fired video, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might come up with more than 10. Unfortunately.
There's only a few that where I don't give people another chance,
Yeah.
So you're going to be facilitating at the retreat in September.
Yeah.
Tell our audience kind of what you're going to be facilitating for both tracks. What are you going to be teaching at the retreat? What can they expect?
Yeah. So we have the opportunity of looking in like over 150 different clinics because they use our system and whatnot. And we can see the things that really work, both in the marketing and growing of clinics, and then in like the systematizing and building processes for large clinics. So I want to kind of offer the insight that we've learned and what I would call just general best practices, whether you're chiro, PT, mental health, acupuncture, massage, multidisciplinary, doesn't matter. We see the same things. And so for early practices, I would say you can spend money on ads, but I have a client that spends over $1,000 a day on Google ads. So that's $30,000 a month, right? You can't do that when you're a small practice.
No.
So what can you do? And what are the things you can do that you'll never stop doing? Because as you know, there's a lot of things we do because we have plenty of time and then we forget to do them later, right? I want to share that with the people who are growing their practice. And that grow track, what are things you can do and how can we build a system using our program or another one, but just build it so that it happens with every single patient, not just the ones where you feel, you're not tired, you remembered, you feel good about, because you're going to get busy. It's going to work. So how can we build a system to do that? And then on the grow side, or on the, that's the bloom side.
Bloom, yep.
Bloom, misspoke. But on the grow side, what are the systems that will take the most load off the team so that you can actually grow towards the mission you guys are doing, whatever you believe in wholeheartedly? How can you get there? There are some things to automate, and there are some things that along the path you should never, ever automate. You should always have a person doing them. So one of my mentors wrapped it up and said, you can never automate a hug, And so we want to make sure we can clearly delineate those two things. But then when it comes to hiring, it becomes a big issue the bigger you get. And so having a standardized process where we can hire people. So just like there's a certain type of patient that you do really well with, right? And I'm sure you've seen in all practices, they do well with a certain type of patient. The same is true of hiring. How can you send the message that this is the type of person we want? And if that's what you want, we want you here. How can we build a system that does that and resist the urge of the overworked, tired owner to go, oh, it's fine, I'll just hire whoever, because that's
never ends well.
Yeah, it never does. Yep.
Awesome.
So I'm going to be showing those two things and then answering questions in between and hopefully having some great discussions with amazing providers.
I'm super excited. I think it's going to be so great to have you there again. And we, of course, invite everyone to the Wellness Center Creators Retreat happening this September. And you can find all of the information on our website, wellnesscentercreators.com/retreats. And you can always email me at kendall@wellnesscentercreators.com. Talk to you soon, Josh.
Thank you very much, Kendall.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wellness Center Creators podcast. We hope you found this episode informative and valuable.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and leaving a rating and review. Your support helps us reach more health and wellness professionals like you.
For additional resources, show notes, and more episodes, visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com.
We'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts, experiences, and questions. Feel free to reach out to us through our website or social media channels.
Once again, thank you for listening. We appreciate your dedication to providing exceptional patient care.
Join us next time as we continue exploring the world of wellness center creation. Until then, take care and keep making a difference.
Thanks for listening to the Wellness Center Creators podcast.